Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre the Game My Dear Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. In this, I'm going to be talking about Activision. Huh. Hmm. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I would not have expected this because it's just not something that was particularly on my potential radar of things to talk about before until I saw the different posts floating around and came into contact with the lawsuit paperwork that I saw for Activision, where they were potentially and allegedly being sexist, discriminatory, and treating their female employees like garbage. It sucks ass to think about that. But like, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Activision in the first place, and it's not like I have a crap ton of Activision's games. But you still never want to hear about this, especially in a medium that you are so passionate about yourself and something you care deeply about. You don't want to hear this type of stuff. You don't want to hear it on a regular basis. You just really don't. And like, it is becoming more and more prevalent that there are a lot of dudes that are in the gaming industry that are just complete assholes. Even though a lot of the things that happened in gaming wouldn't have happened if it weren't for particular women that made those things possible. Granted, I understand that women aren't as big into gaming as men are, but everybody should be treated and respected equally. That's just how I feel about it. If you've come into the field with the desire to make great games and fun, awesome experiences for people, then you should get the same respect as anyone else. There shouldn't be people being passed over for other people because of their race, gender, or origin of any kind, just simply for existing. It's not. It's not. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And there shouldn't be people being harassed or molested at their jobs. It's just not something that should be happening. I can't stand that type of stuff happening, and I prefer that it didn't. It's just not cool. I don't care if it's a man or woman, but it's not cool. There shouldn't be expectation that because you are of a different gender that people are allowed to just do whatever they want to you or concerning you. I just don't agree with that. And Activision is being investigated for a lot of the claims that have been levied against them. My thing is, I personally can't say I know. I wish I could. I wish I could say I knew whether or not this type of stuff was happening. So I could give a definitive answer and the people that need to be punished could be punished. That's the truth of the matter. I wish I do. And not in the sense of, oh, so I know so I can keep it quiet. No, because I wouldn't want that to be done to people in my family or my friends. I wouldn't want that to be done. But like, I understand that if you work for a gaming company, you should enjoy your job because your job is to make other people happy at that point. Your job is to come up with entertainment that makes people happy. So you should be able to enjoy your work. But you shouldn't at all be belittled, talked down to, having work delegated to you that's supposed to be for someone else, but they just don't want to do it at all. Especially when you only make up 20% of the company. Just no. Like, that's almost like slave labor. I mean, yeah, you're getting paid for it, but if you're getting looked over for promotions and stuff like that, yeah, I can see where that's a problem. And another thing, I understand people want to bring their friends into a field with them and they want to pump up their friends. Like, but, bruh, like, no, you don't do that. And if you are running a company of any kind, you should give the best workers the opportunities to have better positions. Not, oh, well, these guys are the guys I know, and I think they're doing a good job, so I'm going to promote. No. Look at everybody's performance. Help the people that need the help equally. Don't chastise people who need help because, oh, well, she's a woman. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's not cool. Or having dudes in the office drunk on the job. Nah, I'm not cool with that. I'd fire them. I'd be firing them immediately because that leads to too many different situations that could happen that you would then be responsible for. And apparently, Activision did not get that memo. It's just not a good look. But again, this is all alleged. Problem is, we don't for sure have all the proof. We just have what's been reported. Now, I'm not trying to lean away from it being true, because honestly, I do think it's potentially very true. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of big gaming companies that we don't hear anything about. Now, well, I do say that there are a couple small points that I do want to make. And I think that this is something that people may overlook, but certain wording can be detrimental to a lot of people if it's not carefully thought through. The fact that Activision has only 20% female staff, that shouldn't be important itself. Because honestly, there are not as many women interested in gaming as there are men. Actually, that's actually more a surprise to me that the number is that high. Unless maybe there are higher ratios at other companies, but I don't think that just because they have a 20% female and staffing should be the major issue. Like, or that shouldn't be a major issue. That shouldn't be a knock against them. How they treat those staff members should be a knock, but the percentage ratio shouldn't. Because there could be a lot of smaller indie developers that just don't have a lot of female workers, if any at all. And I wouldn't want that to be a knock against those indie developers because they don't meet some sort of quota. Like you can't do that. Secondly, I really, really hope that everything gets straightened out because if stuff like this keeps happening, like especially since we had the situation with Ubisoft recently too, that cropped up, and even with some of the places, the companies that they work with, things have been happening that are very similar, and it sucks because I mean I don't personally know a bunch of people that work at these companies, but I have been in contact with at least one or two that have worked on different projects for like Ubisoft. Or I follow someone who follows me that has done stuff with Ubisoft. So it's like I don't like hearing all this stuff because I would really like for those people's work to be able to shine through. For the credit to go where it should and for that stuff to be appreciated. But when you have so many claims of sexual harassment and other things of that nature going on within these companies, and yeah, now people are kind of ticked off and like, well, no, we don't have to purchase your products. We don't have to support you in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, also the mass market's not going to pay attention to that because a lot of people are casual about games. They don't know anything about what goes on behind the scenes, so they're not going to care. But at the same time, the people that are in the know, some may just blow this out of proportion to the point where the people that do deserve the credit aren't going to get it. And it's a catch-22 type situation. Like, you can either support the people that do deserve the support or not support anybody, which is a hard thing to consider. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking in circles here. I just feel like there's so much more going on that we probably don't know that should be called out and should be brought up. And I just don't think that the ratio of certain percentages of people working in an industry is the most important thing when we have those types of people in the industry, and many of them are great. And that should be appreciated a little bit more than just a number or a ratio or a statistic. But I do want for people that did cause harm to others, I want them to go. I do think that they deserve to be punished. Simple as that. And this type of stuff shouldn't be allowed to keep happening. It just shouldn't. Everybody deserves to be respected. Uh, Everybody sure deserves to be shown respect, at least to a certain extent. Just in general human, just in general human care, everyone should be respected. Well, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it bothers you because, again, it's something that you're passionate about. You care about the industry, you care about what goes on in the industry, and people being able to get into it and to come be able to spread their happiness, their joy, their messages, and entertain and fulfill people in a way that most other mediums just can't. So I really, truly do hope that things get sorted out and that it's for the better in the long run. Because we don't really need a company to have an office full of workers where people don't feel safe, they don't feel acknowledged, and they don't feel important to the company overall when they're kind of just stuck trying to keep a roof over their head and get their job done. And they don't get to have the joy of working in an industry that they've wanted to. Just no, I don't like that type of situation. So I am truly hoping that this all gets sorted out. It needs to be. But I don't want to drag anything else out too much longer. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out.